So for the past 3 weeks or so, ever since the patch dropped, the win rate between US and Russia has been basically the opposite, the polar opposite of what it was before the patch. And it gets me wondering, has US been so dominant in the meta where it's literally unplayable for Russia? Or is it just that people suck and don't know how to play Russia? And that people have also been playing Tarkov and Battlefield 6, so they don't really want to bother with trying to like adjust to a new playstyle. They just want to have fun, you know? So I decided to play a couple Russian games myself, and here I have 4 replays of me and my friends, and sometimes solo, playing against US players as Russia. So I'm gonna just play them one by one, and out of the 4 games I played recently, in 3 of them I was bombed at the start of the match. This one, I was mainly just typing to communicate this game, even though I was technically in a 5-stack, but our opponent's elo for like most of this match, most of these matches are around like from 2200, 2500, so maybe not the best. That was the strike UI. Honestly, that is quite expensive though. But like, they fly in and then they just cluster bomb you, and then you kind of have to like, your entire push gets slowed down. And then they also have Comanches up front. Like they're gonna harass you with whatever helicopters they have. It could be a Guardian, it could be a Comanche. Honestly, it's whatever. It's mostly suggested to use manpad rather than using like stuff like obviously Pantir still works. The thing is, if you call in the Pantir, they're likely gonna bomb it, and it's not that fast anyways. Here I'm getting also bombed by more planes here. And for him, it's kind of worth it because he gets a plane off, right? And then for me, I actually happen to have 3 Su-35s in my deck. But then I totally forgot to bring ECM. I did snipe that Viper though, so it was a pretty good trade. I think I got like 300 points worth of kills, KD, so it was pretty nice. But then when you play against US, oh, that was a friendly nuke. We actually got a lot of stuff because they decided to one of our teammates, like they just decided to dig into that center cap and hold it for as long as possible. So yeah, back to the topic. If you want to use interceptors to deal with enemy fighters, especially like stuff like Vipers that don't have stealth, and even though you do kind of have to fight against F-35s more often than not, but you do need ECM. And that's because, like, let's say the F-35 or whatever pops right in front of you, which you only spot at around 7 kilometers, then yeah, you're gonna get an AMRAAM shot at your face, and you could be in a bad position to dodge or like to throw flares and stuff. Unfortunately, that my S300 was resupplying there and it got deleted. So when shit like that happens, that I should have moved it a bit more further or something to resupply my S300. That is honestly really important when it comes to AA. I had some fighters, and then here I was really unlucky, getting just deleted completely. Like that F-35 killed through my flight. That's how you bring ECM. I did not. I said in chat I had ECM, but in reality I did not have ECM. So, it's also pretty common for US to bring in stuff like Prowlers and CJs, and to be honest, this game I am playing Mech Moto, and okay, this one is I can't play. And it's obviously much better to have S300s than books, even though like technically, you know, books have like 4 missiles. They do 20 damage. 4 missiles, 4 maybe rounds. 4 shots. 4 shots. And then, but the S300, like, they also have 4 shots, but like, it's a bit more expensive, right? Thing is, like, the range really does matter here. And you can basically turn off radar, you can like almost hit that plane in the back, as long as it's spotted. And depending on the S300 you want, you could have the one that's like 4 kilometer range, or like 4,500 meter range or something. Here comes another nuke. Not sure why people like nuking nowadays, especially the US. But I guess as long as the plane, like, as long as it's a trade, it's guaranteed. It's a guaranteed, you know, kill. It's a guaranteed nuke off compared to like Russia, where it might get intercepted at times. So yeah, back to the S300 part. The S300 is probably the strongest at intercepting planes when the plane is coming in. So let's say your opponent's bombing something, then like when the plane flies in like this, it's gonna. Okay, there's an Ooga Booga. Okay, maybe I'll talk about this later. But yeah, as you can see, when the plane is about to like come in and do a strike, it does a circle around, right? It has to go back to base. If you happen to catch it with an S300 when it's doing this, like this is when it has the least amount of time to throw flares. It's also flying into you, so your missile, like, it takes the least amount of time for your missile to hit the plane that's flying in. This is how I draw a plane. So yeah, that works. But sometimes the ECM works, or like the flares. Like this is when ECM also works. Also is pretty helpful. But most of the time, if you don't have enough time to like throw your flares, then the plane just eats a missile head on. We also had our own nuke. Like we're just trading nukes at this point. It's I mean, I guess you know, some people think it's a fun way to play. For me, it's like I like just fighting it out, but it's okay, you know. Sometimes people like violence. Anyways, back to the topic of like this early like air spammy playstyle, because I have actually never seen this many planes in the past week. I mean, I don't fight against US that often as Russia, so this is like the first for me, I guess. But the biggest thing actually, compared to like just like right now, like we're pretty even, right? And the more planes they spam, the more kills we're gonna get with our AA pieces and stuff. As you can see, I actually lost a lot of SC-35s this game because they didn't have ECM. But also, I'm not saying that even if I do bring ECM, I'm not gonna lose it. As you can see, I just got tapped by that random AMRAM when I was trying to fire off that Eagle. But regardless, it is I do think ECM is kind of important, but like as long as you make sure that you always have like some sort of fighter in the back. The fighter in the back loitering is not only is to spot like that Viper right there, you can know that it's coming, right? Like if you spot it like all the way in the back of them with your fighter, because it has, you know, 12-kilometer radar, and this also spots them at low altitude. I'm not really sure like how air-to-air like fighter radars work, but right now I think someone has a plane up, so like we basically spotted almost everything here in the back, even though they have Sentinels, F-35s, and then the B-2 was a bit late. I think that fighter was okay, well I guess he flew around, so we didn't really spot the B-2 in the middle, but there goes another nuke. At this point, it gets me wondering, like, so what do you bomb anyways? If you're like, this is dead center, right? This is the place where you just spam nukes at each other. But if you have like different parts of the map that you are like, you have support units in the back, right? You have like AA, but you have a front line as well. So nuking is already a really big investment. You have to like send seed. You have to. It's a 1K point plane, right? Like you usually have one guy just being a dedicated. Okay, guys. We're gonna explore nuke in, so get your seed out, and then yeah, like that happens, right? And same for Russia, like you also invest like 1K points, even though you don't really lose the plane, but it's still like you still spend some points. Then you also need to get seed, even more seed to protect the missile from being what's it called? From being intercepted. So like it's really costly, and like unless you're like really far ahead in the game, it's kind of hard to capitalize on it. Although sometimes, like for Russia, since you don't lose 1,000 points by default, like the V2, then yeah, sometimes it pays off. So that's it for the first game. I'm going to, yeah, these guys just kind of ran it down. Let's see, no end screen. Apologies, I had to record this in a separate occasion, but back to the topic. Basically, you might ask, Corn, but what if, like, you always play in a 5-stack, what if, like, today I play solo, right? I play with random people on the internet that I don't even know for more than 5 minutes. What about in this scenario? And all I can tell you is that try to communicate with your team as much as possible because that's your best bet, to be honest. This is another game where I played with random people, and then I like it's basically just type and then like, you know, try to talk to your teammates about what's going on. For example, this match. Oh, this is a full match. I have to like skip parts of it, but basically what happened was that one of our guys, I was playing guards coastal, which is actually not very I wouldn't say it's like a terrible flank deck. It should be decent because it has APS, but we had a nuke guy. This guy had the nuke, and then I was thinking, okay, so what if like someone like maybe he went to the flank, so we don't actually push this cap at all. We just hold the flank like this, and then the rest of us just play mid. Like we would have like then we would actually be able to, like, this is basically gonna be like 4 guys and 1 guy on the left. Okay, maybe 3.5, and then you just have recon on the left, and then we try to defend with like helicopters and stuff. So you type some stuff out, and then turns out like the deployment didn't go as I thought, but it's okay, you know. Like the guy that was playing coastal, the coastal guard just went there anyways. He actually did pretty well also. So this game, however, we didn't actually get bombed at the start of the match because I think we had a couple fighters. So okay, do we get a kill? We don't get a kill, but that's fine. But overall, like also this game, even though it was played before, like a couple days before the game that I featured last game, I did happen to have ECM on these bad boys. So yeah. Anyways, the thing that happens against like US opening is that they will have helis because they want to deploy fast, right? They will have jets with basically ASF, like Raptors, Hornets, sometimes CJs, which is basically to shut off your radar in case you try to use an S300 to snipe anything. And then because of the nature of the S300 is that they're really slow, you know. They're like 60, 65, 70 when opposed to packs that are like pack 2s that go 100 speed. Your A net reaches the front a bit slower than usual. So for the, let's say, first 5 minutes of the game, until your S300s get to the front, you're kind of gonna like you have to play really passive. And for an opening, it's probably best to just open up with some sort of vehicles. This is my friend, not my friend, my teammate disconnected. But again, like blobbing is good, you know. Like if you're playing with your team, like you stick together, even though that also gets you bombed. Like you should be able to like at least not die to like pushes on the ground. Also, you always need to have like some sort of ASF, or not always, but sometimes. As you can see, my SU-35 is getting shot at by a Raptor in the back with JATMs, and I can't see him because I'm not supposed to see him. He's stealthy, he's a stealth jet. But at least I'm not dying, you know. The purpose of this is to basically spot drones and then shoot them down with the R37s. So I deny vision. Also, this match was kind of weird. Like a lot of things didn't feel right. Like maybe desync or something, but I'm not sure. So I had to reconnect a couple times. But it's okay, you know. Still have to play the game. So you need to check for drones. You need to get your AA out quick. Oh, well, the slow ones, because they're slow, it might actually be better to just get them out at the start, and then bring in your faster IFVs like the Kurganets, or if you like T15s. 30 mil is actually pretty nice. Also, always remember to get man pads and SHORAD. Man pads and what's it called? Snipers, recon. As for AT, it's kind of map dependent, but like stuff like on Dead Center, it's generally an infantry haven. So sometimes it would be nice to bring TOSs and pretty early into the game. As you can see here, I actually don't have a lot of AT because I know against the US, Like, well, what's their AT gonna do? Shoot at my infantry? I'll just get back behind the building. And the Cornets here are basically just to force vehicles out of position, because I know Cornets will always win against TOWs and other stuff. Okay. Oh wait, something happened here. Yeah. Okay. So, although I kind of fucked up this SU-57, like I shot a seed missile, a hard missile too soon, we did spot a couple things, and against US tanks in particular, your tanks, your 500-pound, sorry, not 500-pound, 500-kilogram bombs actually one-tap tanks from the front, from the top with the laser. So you can use your second bomb to do something else. Unfortunately, we lose the plane, but you know, it's like fair trade. We also get the pilot back. And then for the rest of this match, it's basically because I'm not really sure what these guys were up to. You know, they weren't really spamming planes as often, but they also were. I think they brought more nukes, and they were also like really into artillery, which honestly, if you want to spam artillery, then you also need to have good recon, right? And we had to like figure out where their recon was. I tried poking into here to see if he had any recon, and I'm not sure what the timestamp was where I spotted this recon, but turns out it was on the left. Okay. Yeah, he had four con on the left. I had to reconnect again. Oh, a nuke went off. Is that our nuke? Might be our nuke. I don't even see the nuke. Is there a nuke? Oh, there is a nuke. There's a nuke. Where's the radar? There was no seat! They didn't even have radars on, man. Okay, maybe I spot the sniper here. No, I don't spot the sniper. Okay, probably cleared it out already, but okay, yeah, there you go, there's the sniper. So, only took me like half the game to figure that one out, but yeah, also like clearing out recon is also quite important, but only do it when like you have a guess of where it is and you're pretty sure it's not defended by like a tank or like any other unit. Otherwise, you're just sending units in, and he knows it's gonna kill your stuff. I think they also brought in their own nuke, the Lancer. Okay, they also got a pretty big one. So this match, it was, you know, you got nuked, but then like you kind of just, you know, the death tax kind of gives you points back, and because how should I put it? I feel like besides, besides recon, besides the ASF just to check for drones and stealth fighters, besides like having A and a backline, it's always nice to have like resupplies everywhere. As you can see, like 1, 2, 3, 4, probably like 5 or 6 resupplies over there in the back. And for us, yeah, that's what I think really keeps you going, like keeps you keeps the front line intact, you know. It's like when planes come in and your S-300s don't have any missiles, or they're just resupplying, then yeah, you might be screwed. So I think that was it for this match. No more just more logistics, more TAWs, more not really a lot of infantry. Also, yeah, cleared out a sniper there. So that's the thing, right? If they don't have snipers in the front line, they don't really know where my stuff is, and they will have to like start blind guessing, bombing blind, or whatever you call it, and that decreases the possibility of your you losing your units, and sometimes, you know, you might even get you might even be able to shoot the plane down. Oh wait, I had to reconnect here. Okay, please stop smoking. I said this because my deck is based on cornets and not infantry, so him like tossing me and smoking me kind of fucked me up. But yeah, we got a cool like little breakthrough here in the middle. Unfortunately for Russia, cornets only deal 10 damage. And if you bring armor on like packs and other like artillery pieces, they will have more. I don't even get the pack. They will, because I was panicked. But you will not be able to one-tap them, unlike Hellfire helicopters and stuff. But overall, did another nuke go off? Yeah, just generally a lot of planes. And then when you really figured out that, okay, I might really be ahead, then this is when you can bring out like the heavy stuff, right? When you're sure that they don't really have a lot of points to just dump at you and kill your most valuable units. So start off cheap, get into more expensive stuff, and then you'll always have something to trade back at it, even though maybe. Oh yeah, there goes. So like that was the effort of like 3 or 4 SAMs in the back, maybe 3, and also a bit of terminal guidance, but yeah. But then again, Rome wasn't built in one day, so gonna have to slowly stack up your front line, your back line and front line. So this game, it was a bit. This was also a 5-stack. Okay, I shouldn't say also, but this game was a 5-stack. The idea was they were going 4 guys, or like basically 4 guys on the left hand side, and for me, I would do fuck all and defend E. So, but again, like we would get fucked at the start of the game, and because no one, okay, I brought a plane out. I think we had 2 planes, maybe 1 or 2. Yeah, this is what people start with sometimes. It's actually quite scary, and you don't really know if it's a B2 or if it's a like a strike eagle like this, right? It just clusters everything, and like now everything's disabled. It might not get a kill, but it's enough to slow you down. Regardless, having SAMs is nice, and also I think it's okay. You know, sometimes you just kind of have to send in a jet, like what I did earlier. I think I kind of don't like it. Like my Su-27, I should have just sent it in regardless of like dying or not, to just check if there was a B2 in the back, because if we spot the B2, then our SAMs would be able to kill it before anything bad happened. You know, in your starting convoy, it's nice to have a vehicle with APS and manpads in it. So what this does is that you can always just drop your yeah, this was unfortunate, but you can always drop your manpads out, and then you don't need to smoke. You can still like tank a shot and then let the manpad shoot at the helicopters. So yeah, I think that's the value of the what do you call it, of running APS vehicles. It's so important against US. So I think motorized and guards are pretty nice, but you don't need to run both. You know, you can just have one, or if you feel like being a Chad, then you can play VDV mech, which is also quite kind of scary. As you can see here, we're just basically trying to not let them infiltrate us a bit too much. Have like a couple. This is the cheap S300 on mechanized, and what it does is I think it has pretty long range, even though the resupply, yeah, as you can see, that if it was a 4 missile S300, then it probably, actually they're too kind. This was sped up by the way at 1.5 because they kept running it down. The biggest thing that you have to be aware of against like these kind of like air openings is that they might and probably will try to sudden death by taking all the caps in your face, and then you're not even like in position yet. But you have to keep in mind, you have to keep this in mind. As Russia, the thing is, only infantry is not enough to actually like hold like a proper a combined arms push from Russia. Maybe they get planes and other stuff, but that just means they're gonna lose even more planes in the end. So what you do is you just remember to keep to bring your own vehicles with infantry in it. You don't really need to bring AT at the start when you try to hold the home cap, because you know that that like proper like IFVs, like I don't honestly, I think Dragoons aren't really that tanky, so like Bradleys, AMPVs, and Bookers, Abrams, they're like 60, 70, or 70 speed, right? And if, let's say you have a boomerang or like some other maybe Kurganets, even though they're not tanky, or even a T15, you know, like you have that kind of stuff. Okay, maybe don't bring in T15 at the start, but still. Or like a BMP. So because of BMP, let's say the BMP, like it's the same speed as like these kind of stuff, you know, like armored stuff. So that means if you both start spawning at the same time, you will reach the middle of the map at the same time. But if you are just trying to defend your home cap, then that means that like you'll always reach a defending spot way sooner than your opponent's equivalents will. So you can always like at least just hold one cap and start pushing from there. But just don't be hasty, and just always remember like to check for drones, check for fight around recon, and then if they try to overextend by bombing you, which you know, like that, then just kill them with the S300. You just let them sit in the back and they'll do their job. Here, unfortunately, they spot my recon, probably by something else here, but also I'm not really sure why these guys were just running it down on my flank, because it ended up being pretty good to just use a couple artillery pieces to blast them. And I also, yeah, like this is 3 S300s already. So if someone, I'm also checking for drones. So if someone decides to fly a plane in, there might be 3 S300s shooting at that bitch. I'm not really sure if that thing's gonna survive, even though like it also have to resupply. So yeah, but besides like getting the units in, also resupplying is quite important. There are a lot of units here, but also at the end of the phase, right? All I have to do is just sit in here, sit in the cap, smoke up, and we would technically be fine. Because my SSO are also like CQC, which is something that people don't really like to do. Like they like SSO having the cornets. Like they only cost 90. They're really cost efficient. For me, I just think I'll just let the boomerangs 30 mil do their job. You know, it seems fair to me. So I think there are a couple more clips of the S300s being at work, doing their work. Yeah, this is just the push that all right, here. As you can see here, actually I clipped this because I wanted to talk about it for a reason. There was a reason behind it. This guy was playing Striker SF, and here's the thing: the Bookers are always slower than the Dragoons, and it seems like as this guy, how this red guy plays the game, he just spams all his units he spawns all his units at the same time, drives them to the front line, and then fist fights you. And then maybe if he has extra points, he's gonna airstrike you. But it seems like he lost all of his planes, so, or like he doesn't have the economy to do so anymore. So as you can see, the Dragoons or like the Strikers always arrive first, right? Sorry, I had to take a sip. The thing is, the stuff that he could actually tank like ATGMs and like RPGs were actually like they're not here yet. And because he didn't coordinate this one, like he probably should have just kept the Dragoons in the back, rolling around, checking for recon maybe, wasting some time, and then push together. So that was probably what he didn't do properly. And it's because like they do shit like this, where you can just punish them pretty easily by having like a lot of different units. You know, you can have like an AGL. You can have vehicles that just space them out, and then look at this guy. Like he realized his push isn't really working out, and I mean pretty much everything died here. So like he's like, okay, what do I do now with my Bookers? And my Bookers are expensive. I don't want to lose them. Okay, so he's just sitting here for now, and then he pushes them in alone later, trying to take our home cap, which is actually kind of funny, you know. Okay, he did this part, and then he decided to hide them behind buildings, so that ATGMs wouldn't shoot at them. And this is the moment where sometimes having RPGs actually does matter, right? Like I'm just shooting at this guy, he's running away, hit his side armor, like yeah. It's not working out for him, to say the least. Have an ATGM here. It's basically unplayable for him if he pushes up like that without any infantry. So yeah, if your opponent is pushing in like at full speed without any like regards for your for like combined arms, anything like you can still punish him pretty easily. And the end is just me. Oh, whoops! The end is just me like farming this guy because he didn't bother to move his units. He's probably like, I don't know, AFK. Maybe he's playing the game with one hand. You know, that kind of stuff. So yeah, the game was pretty much over at this point. Although I do have to say I have to give a lot of credit to my team on the other side and also my battle buddy here. So that was it for this game. I think I have a bit of time to go through the S300s. Okay, so this was a couple kills. Like, even if you score one plane, it's good enough. Oh wait, it ended? Should be more. Let me try again. Okay, that's 2 planes. That's 1 drone and another plane. Okay, and 3 more planes, and also a drone. So, yeah, it does kind of work out. And now for our last match, the review of the day as Russia. This game. Okay, how about this? I give you guys a treat. I'm gonna play the shit that actually happened in the VC that game. I'll get an ASF. Oh. Okay, this was Zulu's stream, so he would have like you would hear a lot of keyboard clicking and stuff. But we spawned in, and then okay, maybe don't skip it too much.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
And that's a lot of planes, right?
Get off the road!
my god!
Are they gonna nuke us?
I'm getting off the road.
This was the thing. We couldn't really figure out if they were nuking us or just trying to bomb us. But that was probably why I think sending a plane would have been better. But this is only my speculation after the match. And now that I think about it, don't turn on the radar, maybe. So yeah, like we killed some planes, you know, 600 planes, and then there comes a B2. So that was a bit too late already. I was even trying to like just call my S300s back. Watch this. Watch that blob. Oh, it actually worked. Couldn't play with the bomb.
What the fuck?
That was almost a 2K bomba. It was hilarious, but yeah, that was the opening of the match. That was the very hilarious opening of the match.
Really surprised that
did not expect it to work. And then, sorry, I'll just use the original VOD. Okay, so what happened here? What happened at the start? After the start, as you would expect, there would be air spam, there would be heli spam. Oh wait, oh I skipped it. Fuck. Okay, well, just remember man pads, and then like it's okay to have like a slow start, you know. Like right now we're down on a lot of flags, like 1 or 2, maybe 2. And here I was just resupplying, and unfortunately for me, did I record this? Okay, yeah, okay, so this is what happened to my resupplying convoy. My teammate Dragoon, he was his S300 was probably spotted. I'm not gonna blame him for this. I drove into his S300 while he struck me and then killed everything in it. So like shit happens, you know, shit happens. Like I should probably would have expected the unexpectable, but eventually, you know, you slowly, because there was only one guy on this flank, honestly. Okay, maybe occasionally the second guy, but after we take A, you just use the buildings with cheap infantry. As you can see, Motor Stroke only costs 60 points. So this blob is only like a bit more expensive than the Spetsnaz GRU. Okay, 2 squads is as much as the Spetsnaz GRU, and they don't pen a lot of armor, but it's good enough to force them to tell them to fuck off and everything. And again, and they still have some like fighting capabilities against infantry, as you can see here. So I am like heavily invested into A and stuff, which I think is actually pretty nice. This deck, the past couple games I played was in VDB and something like motorized, Mo, or Guards Tank Brigade. But this match, or like recently, I've decided the Diversanti PFP profile picture looks pretty cool. So I'm gonna be playing Moto Mechanized Mo Memo. Okay, should we call it Memo or Mome? I think Mome sounds cool. But yeah, anyways. So like I have all 4 S300. Like as you can see, 1, 2, my 4th probably is still somewhere in spawn, but it's coming out soon. I also lost my my Tunguska a couple times this game because I forgot to turn radar off. But yeah, because we had like 2 S300, another one, and another one probably coming in. Like there's really unless like they have to like they kind of have to start counter or like artillerying our S300s for me to actually, or maybe start airstriking them. But I'm pretty sure like he doesn't really have the recon to do it because compared to the book, right? I am always like probably one or more kilometer away from the front line, and that means if they have snipers or drones, it's going to be even more difficult to spot them. So okay, still 3 S300s, and that guy just randomly gets tagged. Also, another thing to keep in mind: these SAM sites, regardless of you being US or Russian, if you put them in a forest, they will have they're going to shoot regardless of line of sight. So you don't really have to worry about putting them at the edge of a forest or not. So yeah, that's another thing that I think maybe some people don't really remember or like haven't noticed yet. Alright, so what's next? Well, just a bit of fist fighting and also like small break, you know. I need to drink some water and just resupplying my units here and there. Also, it is true that my flank, like this flank, A cap we're playing on, it does favor us a little bit, and it favors C's side on the other side, on the other spawn. So right now, we took A, right? It's pretty much solidified. We're gonna start having to push, help B, and then like help our like teammates. Eventually, hopefully, you know, like so I can help my guy on the left, so my guy on my left can help his guy on the left. No, just passing the baton or something like that. I don't really know. So let's see. Alright, the thing about US infantry, you know, the thing about US infantry is that there aren't really a lot of squads that are specialized in both CQC and AT, you know? Like, I mean, it's the same for like almost all the squads, right? You will never have a thermobaric weapon along with a an RPG or something like that. So I'm speaking this because the RSC is CQC. RSC can be CQC, but they will lose to like engineer squads. And then meanwhile, squads like the CQC Rangers will not have AT, but they will have anti-infantry capability. So this is when, like, you know, it's kind of a game of rock paper scissors. You kind of just counter like these dedicated thermobaric CQC squads with vehicles, and then if he pops in with anti-vehicle infantry, then you counter him with your own like thermobaric, like the CQC SSO, engineer Sturmoviki, that kind of stuff. All right, so okay, whatever that is. Let's see. Okay, maybe in a couple minutes I'll go through my deck, and then I'll have to you know, give you a quick summary of like what this video is all about again, and then we end the video. All right, so this part was basically. Is there no sound all of a sudden? Oh no, that's a bad thing. Okay, that is kind of bad. I probably deleted the sound by accident. All right, so as you can see here, I've a bit of everything, right? I've like, even though they are kind of spread out at the moment, but whenever I did a push, I would always have a combination of engineer teams, an AT team, And you know, that's the second one, but it never hurts to have two, right? And then yeah, just micro units a little bit against cruise missiles. Okay, and then yeah, and then like, oh, okay, the audio's back, and the more S300s. So the reason why I don't put these infantry inside the buildings is for a couple reasons. First, if artillery hits a building, let's say my infantry is right here. Big figure. Hello. The artillery hits, or like from above. It usually hits the building and not the infantry. Obviously, mortars could like get behind the building and hit me, but they have to be really close for it to work, right? So, yeah, like maybe cruise missiles can also hit them, but then if they don't spot it, they don't know it's there. And that's exactly what is so nice about it. If I put them inside the building, they actually might get spotted by a random sentinel, sniper, or whatever. Okay, yeah, it's 4 S300s in the back. So whenever they send planes in, there's simply too much AA to shoot down their stuff. And whenever one guy is resupplying, all my other S300s are going to be active. And I still have fighters, by the way. So, like, it takes time to set all this up. And it's kind of the US player's job to either two things: just beat you head on by having better micro, or they just end up spamming planes and then they just die to all the AA you have. And then like basically this game, to be honest, am I really winning on the front? I don't think so. Like I'm just sending it in, tanking damage, and then if he cannot bail out before and if he can't like run away before he dies, then great news, I get the kill. But then on the other hand, I'm also like taking a lot of damage myself, and I'm just driving back to resupply most of the time. So yeah, a lot of my kills are actually from like planes against like from SAM sites, and for the most of it I'm just kind of baiting my opponents into airstriking me and then just killing his planes instead. I don't really know how this logic works, but anyways, it, you know, like it seems to be working. It seems to be working. Like this, they think, okay, there's so much seed. I'm sorry, not so much seed. They have so many S300s, we should send seed in. Yeah, just turn your radar off, man. You'll be fine. And if you actually do need to spot stuff in the middle, like against that B2, then maybe you have a plane. But then at this point, it's too late, you know? At this point, it's too late. It's over, like everything just died there. But, you know, like, against US, especially like B2, B1, B2 nukes, you just make sure you kill the plane in return. Because they also haven't had to invest other planes, right? But then, just make sure you kill the B2. It's all that matters. So we eventually do tap it. And, then we're off. And then you just kill the thing and then get out of there. She should be fine. I accidentally micro failure. Also, these guys are pretty nice. They're 65 points and they shoot like 1,300 meters. And yeah, everything in that was really expensive, to be honest. And still win with the cheap units. Oh wait, okay, maybe I'll run this part. Okay, 2 AMPV, 1 AMPV, right? So there are 12 troops in there. What do you got? That was a Fighting Falcon. Yeah, when he flies in, he takes them sites pretty bit to the face. Okay, so there's Stormer Vicky, those troopers died unfortunately, but you know, at the end of the day, this is the 260 point investment, and for me it's only like I only lost 120 points. And this guy might think, why does he have so many units? Yeah, because I haven't been losing so many units, so I'll have units. As you can see, my upkeep is not that high. It could have been, it was lower sometime during this game, but you know, I lose a couple units every now and then. And other times, having cheap units really does help a lot. And in the meantime, like, oh yeah, okay, a nuke went off, and then like I forgot to send in my MP, so that was kind of my bad. All right, so yeah, let's look at the SAM sites. How our S300s did. a lot of kills against planes and drones. Not sure what that strike eagle was so expensive. And a lot more kills. Not sure how I killed an SSO and a pilot, but you know, that's a lot of kills. A lot more kills. And yeah, so there you have it. That's the idea of Russia this patch, you know. They'll span so many planes that you'll just eventually kill them all. So I'm just gonna go through a quick, like, you know, a couple decks that I can show you. I'm not gonna explain too much. But before that, I would like to tell you, like, give you a quick review of how everything like works or as Russia, you know, in case you don't know. Let me just note this down. Okay, so first thing, when you open the match, bring an IV with man pads in it, because your Shurad might get bombed. And then after that, preferably it's like a Kurganets or Boomerang, because it can block Hellfires. And then after that, remember to bring your SAM sites. And then if they really have a lot of helicopters, then maybe bring in a Enigla helicopter, but that's fine. And then, oh yeah, I gotta, hold on, maybe I'll just mute this. Okay, I'll just mute that for now. And then after that, you slowly get like other IVs and other anti-armor infantry, just cheap ones, that's fine. And then just to deal with, like, in case he runs it down with his own IVs to support his infantry that were transported by helicopter at the start of the match. So and then after that, you just kind of like send a fighter jet every now and then in just to check for drones, and then always keep your units resupplied as much as possible. Resupplying is really important. So yeah, that was like the 4 or 5 step guide of like how to play Russia this patch, or at least I find it really comfortable. Or like, I could even say it's pretty, like, it's pretty chill, you know. Like, I'm just sitting there letting all my letting all my SAM sites do the work. So this is the deck, Monomech, the Mome deck. Have some recon, cheap recon, expensive recon. Spetsnaz Gru has AT in case my Monostroke can't deal with them, because as you can see, this one is basically an AT4. Oh wait, I still have Vampires. I totally forgot about it. I have Boomerangs. Oh wait, this actually doesn't have that many points, but you know, like, just put whatever you want. But there's always CQC infantry, right? A lot of CQC infantry. Some AT infantry, an occasional ATGM squad that just basically forces smoke, a bit of like fire support, and also manpads that are important during the start of the game. As for tanks, I don't bring them out often, but these are okay. And then the most important part is your AA. The difference between these S300s is that this one is from mechanized. It was moved over from guards. The cheaper variant takes longer to resupply, but it has a bit more range, which does help. And then the more expensive one from motorized is kind of the opposite. If you upgrade it, it gets more range. It takes longer to resupply, and so that's why I kind of like I just run the motorized one at the default, and then the mechanized one as the cheaper one. AA is okay. I used to run Tunguskos. I'm not really sure which one to run, honestly. But the Panzer can get you to 3 kilometers of range against helicopters. It's always nice to have a bit of artillery. And then also, like, yeah, supplies. As for helicopters, I don't really use them to transport like pilots that drop down. So I just use Groundlogy for the most of it. I have a bit of like AT in case something goes wrong, in case something breaks through, but definitely not the best. This one has just a bit of like quick reaction into like a Comanche rush or something. And then this seed is just for like people who like nukes. This is just the check drones. This is just the tech drones. And if my opponent gets like a bunch of tanks blobbed up, then this is gonna go in. For this, the other decks. Yeah, SU-35s with ECM. Please bring ECM. Don't be me. Don't be me and not bring ECM just for the thing to just get shot down. It's not worth it. If you play Guards Tank Brigade, it's always good to have TOS. You don't really need to upgrade it, but it's up to you. The books, they're not the best. They have way less range than the S300s, but it's better than nothing, I suppose. That's why I'm kind of like not playing them as much anymore. The bars, 30 mils are still good. Have a bit of APS here and there. And if you're like, Corn, I can't play the game without the Armada, then sure, go for it. Like, it's fine. You can bring the T90, but they are expensive. And then the rest is just always have like CQC, right? Always have CQC, always have anti-tank, and then have a bit of fire support. And for the most part, you'll still be using IFVs. So maybe just one more look, but this one isn't really. I don't think I'll be playing this deck. So just look at it. All right, guys. Today's video is a bit more special than usual. You know, like we need more people to buff to like keep the Russian numbers not that like terrible. You know, because I think Russia's fine. Russia's actually fun. Compared to US, where people just brainlessly spam planes and stuff. Like, you can counter it, guys. You can do it. For the Russian mains out there, shout out to my Russian boys. But you know, I used to play US most of the time. Look at me. Look at the difference. I've only been playing Russia this patch because I realized it was actually kind of fun. So, and it's not OP anymore. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching today's video. And if you liked it, please comment down below, or maybe like, subscribe, whatever you want to do. I have a Discord server that I put guides in, but recently everyone's playing Tarkov in Battlefield, so yeah, the game's kind of dead. So, but then, you know, I'll still be making stuff and trying to help people in ways I can. So guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.